What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. I have a viral video to share with you. It seems that a video from actually almost 10 years ago is going viral at the moment, of a veteran named Kevin Villa, who reported seeing a UFO aboard the USS Nimitz back in 1991. That's right, the same USS Nimitz that was part of the 2004 Tic Tac event. This happened, well, what is that? 13 years prior, right? So let's jump into this. Now, please hit that like button, Vetters. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, y'all. Put out new videos every week about the UFO phenomenon. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Let's do it. Now, let's jump into this clip about Kevin Villa telling his story. In 1991, while on the USS Nimitz in the Pacific, Kevin Villa witnessed a massive, silent, square, triangular-shaped UFO hovering approximately 40 feet above the ocean. The object was estimated to be 40 to 50 yards in height and up to 1,000 yards in length. It had a metallic appearance with sharply defined edges and did not emit light or sound or disturb the surrounding water. He observed the object for about 30 minutes before it vanished. He says after this, he was interrogated by military personnel and instructed to remain silent about the incident. When he tried to share the experience with those around him, he faced skepticism from his family and religious community, which led to an involuntary psychiatric evaluation. He did not officially disclose the event to anyone for 23 years until he shared it with MUFON in 2015. Quote, "I felt betrayed by everyone, the government, the military, even the church. This wasn't a hallucination. It was real, and it changed everything." Now, let's watch this viral video.
And so I'm touching everything on the ship, and I walk over to the starboard side, which is the right side of the ship, and I just kind of look around. There's a kind of a metal gangplank that runs down the side of the ship, and I look over that way, and there's a UFO just finishing coming out of the water. And it goes about 40 feet above the water and just sits there. And this was not, and all I had ever heard about at this time in my life was flying saucers, round flying saucers, and these little orb things that every once in a while I just saw on a special. I pretty much thought anybody who said they saw a UFO was crazy, because I grew up in a church and they said aliens don't exist, and that was, part of, I don't know where they got that, because I've gone back to the Bible and tried to find it. So there's this, it wasn't round, it wasn't an orb, it was, what I saw was square. I mean, the ship itself, I'm pretty sure was a triangle, but I couldn't see the whole thing. But the side I saw was 40 to 50 yards high, larger than the Nimitz long. This is what I saw. It was about 300 yards to maybe a mile off the starboard side of the Nimitz up front. Part of it was obstructed by the tower of the Nimitz. And everybody I've talked to, they're like, well, expand on it. Tell me more. I can't tell you more. I stared at it for a half an hour. I mean, every sensation I ever had in my life went away. I just stared at it. I mean, what do you do when you see a block floating in the ocean? And underneath it, there was, the ocean was lit up, but it wasn't like there was these round light spots on it. It just was illuminated. I just stared at it. I don't know what else to say. Last night I got inundated by all these people thanking me for telling my story, and I'm like, my story's not a big deal. I stared at something for half an hour. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's not like I can't expand on it. I didn't see little windows with little green men looking out it. It was solid. There were kind of pronounced lines down the ship. I do remember that. And the only reason I know it was a half hour, because I actually referred back to the logbooks. I actually looked at the logbooks for the ship, and then when I went up to the tower a couple days later, I wanted to see who was in flight ops, and found out that it was just the admiral, the captain, and the flight boss. But they were up there, which is 360 degrees glass, so they saw it. I'm now convinced they knew it was there. But I just stared at it, and going back at it, I realized I stared at it for half an hour. It only took me about 5 minutes after this buzzing started to get up and look around and see it. We were actually on darkened ship for 41 minutes. And of course, after it left, there was about another 5 minutes before they unlocked the watertight door and I went in. But I just stared at it. I mean, I was thinking something, but it's not like, I have a racy mind. I'm thinking about, what are my kids doing? There's always 50 thoughts in my head. I have this job to do. That. My mind was blank. I mean, it was just totally blank. I was just sitting there looking at this thing floating above the Pacific Ocean off the starboard side of the most powerful second most powerful, the Abraham at the time, just floating there. We weren't doing anything. Jets weren't being scrambled. We were just sitting there. The ship had almost stopped to a crawl. We were just sitting in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with this thing floating off the starboard side that was as big as us or larger. And I know I've said it. That's all I could do was look at it. And then towards the end, it kind of moved slightly, kind of almost like a turn, which is when I saw that there was an angle. And I want to say that it went up and disappeared because I think I saw it start to go up, but it was so fast that when I kind of noticed that upward motion, I looked up. And I'm a guy that's taken pictures of the SR-71 disappearing over the horizon. I did infrared imaging of it. I did spectral analysis, all this thing of this jet when it took off. That's a fast plane. You know, they say it goes Mach 3. It goes much faster. You can watch it go over the horizon like this. I couldn't watch this thing disappear. It was that fast. It was just there and gone. And the thing I remember the most is after looking up, I looked down at the water expecting this huge wake, you know, coming back at the Nimitz from whatever power, nothing. It was, the waves were doing, it was like nothing. There was no force down in the ocean, nothing displaced.
Now, I went to the original source of this viral video that I found on Reddit, right? And, of course, there's more to this story, right? And I found another interesting piece from this particular interview. I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch the full thing. It's about 25 minutes or so. But I found a couple minutes at the beginning that I found was very apropos for this video. And to give a little more context about Kevin Villa and his story of coming out and telling this, right? So take a look.
Well, we're happy that you're here, and I know it takes a lot for people to come forward. This is an incredibly frightening
It took me 23 years.
Why did you wait so long?
Because after I first saw the UFO, I was interrogated aboard the ship by two men, and they made it very uncomfortable, and I knew better than to say anything to them just based on past experiences in the military where I was a combat photographer, and in that we did all kinds of other pictures, where I had taken pictures of people before they go into the brig because they were crazy, not because they saw a UFO, but because they saw something minor or said something happened. So I knew the military looked down on that stuff. So after I saw it, 2 days went by, and then these guys came in and interrogated me. They were real nice at first, but then they turned mean, and I just told them I didn't see anything. And when I got out of the military, I was retired. I got injured, so I was medically retired. I decided that I would tell my pastor and my wife and my mom. And the three of them actually had me 5150'd for 3 days. They actually said I was crazy. I had PTSD. I was having really bad nightmares, night sweats, tears, yelling. And then I tell them that I saw a UFO. And the next thing I know, my mom asks me to come up to her house the next day. And literally the sheriff's department is there. And she says, my son's gone crazy. And so I had to go to a mental institution and sit there for 3 days and convince the doctors that I wasn't crazy. And that was the last time I ever talked about it, up until 3 years ago when MUFON, who I'd filed a report with, got back hold of me and wanted me to go on Hangar 1. I told them absolutely not. And they started off with kind of the low man on the totem pole, and it went up and up and up and up and up until Jan Harzan called me. And he put me at ease. He told me I could do it anonymously. So they sent me a tape recorder, and I told my story on tape. And then literally right before they were going to go and print the show for the TV show, I emailed Paul Vivilod, and told him he could use my name. So they redid the narration and used my name.
All right, Vetters. I'll put links in the description if you want to go check all this out on your own. We'll see you on the next video. Make sure to let me know down in the comments, what do you think about Kevin Villa's story, especially its connection to the Nimitz 13 years prior, before the famous Tic Tac incident, right? Let me know what you think. All right, Vetters, we'll see you on the next one. Remember, every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.